Most people believe human behavior is random. They think actions are driven by mood, personality, or circumstances. That's not true. Human behavior follows patterns, quiet, repeatable, predictable patterns. And the most interesting part is this. People reveal their position, intentions, and internal state without saying a word. In this video, we'll look at real behavioral examples, break down the hidden psychological mechanisms behind them, and then draw a clear conclusion about how these patterns shape everyday interactions. Not theory, not motivation, just psychology as it actually shows up in real life. Let's start with situations you've seen countless times. A group conversation. One person speaks and everyone listens. Another person speaks and the energy drops instantly. No one interrupts, no one is rude. But attention shifts. Or consider this. Someone cancels plans last minute, repeatedly, and expects understanding every time. Another person cancels once and feels the need to explain in detail, almost apologizing for existing. Same action, completely different response. Here's another example. Two people walk into a room. One adjusts their posture slightly, pauses before speaking, and waits for eye contact. The other starts talking immediately, filling the silence, explaining too much. No one consciously judges this, yet everyone feels it. Or think about messages. One person replies slowly, briefly, without emojis. The other replies instantly with explanations, reassurance, and emotional padding. Nobody says anything, but the balance shifts. These behaviors happen everywhere. Workplaces, relationships, friendships, family dynamics, and most people experience them without understanding why they feel uncomfortable, smaller, or suddenly less relevant.
This strategy is fundamentally flawed and everyone knows it.
Flawed?
We're looking at record profits if we execute this
Can
correctly.
we please just calm down and review the report?
Watch what happens when someone disagrees. Some people state disagreement calmly and stop. Others justify, soften, add disclaimers, and circle back again. Same opinion, different psychological position. Or notice how people react to silence. For some, silence feels neutral. For others, silence feels threatening, so they rush to fill it. Even laughter reveals patterns. There's laughter that invites connection, and laughter that seeks approval. You've seen people laugh slightly too late, too loud, or after their own joke, just in case. None of this is accidental. These behaviors aren't flaws, they're signals, and signals exist for a reason. The hidden mechanisms. So what's really happening beneath these behaviors? The first mechanism is perceived value. Human attention follows perceived value, not effort. The more someone tries to secure attention, the less valuable it appears. This is why. Over-explaining weakens authority. Constant availability reduces curiosity. Excessive reassurance lowers emotional impact. The brain interprets behavior faster than words. Before logic engages, perception already decides. Another mechanism is emotional self-regulation. People who regulate their emotions internally don't rush to control the external environment. They don't fill silence. They don't chase responses. They don't correct every misunderstanding. This creates psychological gravity, not dominance, not aggression, but stability. And stability feels powerful. The second mechanism is asymmetry of investment. In any interaction, the person who invests more emotionally carries more psychological risk, and risk changes behavior. This is why people who care more explain more. People who wait are perceived as selective. People who rush signal uncertainty. The brain constantly tracks imbalance, not consciously, automatically. This is also why respect fades quietly. There's no dramatic moment, no confrontation, just a gradual recalibration of value. The third mechanism is predictability. When behavior becomes predictable, curiosity disappears. When curiosity disappears, attention fades. Predictability doesn't mean reliability, it means emotional certainty. And certainty removes tension. Without tension, interest dissolves. Why people misread these signals? Most people misinterpret these dynamics because they rely on intention instead of perception. They think, I didn't mean it that way. I was just being honest. I was trying to be nice. But behavior isn't judged by intention. It's judged by impact. Psychology doesn't ask what you meant, it measures what your actions signal. This is why good intentions often produce opposite results, and why trying harder can quietly reduce influence. The more you attempt to control perception, the less control you have. The cost of ignoring behavioral psychology. Ignoring these patterns has consequences, not dramatic ones, subtle ones. People stop seeking your opinion. Messages become shorter. Invitations arrive later, or not at all. You're still included, but less central. And because nothing obvious happened, most people blame circumstances instead of behavior. They assume people changed, culture shifted, timing was wrong. Rarely do they look at micro behaviors, but psychology lives in the small details. The core insight. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Human behavior is constantly negotiating value, not morally, not consciously, psychologically, and the negotiation happens through pacing, silence, restraint, emotional containment. People who understand this don't manipulate. They reduce unnecessary signals, they let behavior speak without explanation, and paradoxically, this creates clarity, respect, and interest. The psychology of people isn't mysterious, it's precise. Every pause, every response time, every unnecessary explanation sends information, and once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them, not to control others, but to understand the invisible structure beneath everyday interactions. Because behavior always speaks, even when you don't, and often it speaks louder than words.